You have been told your entire life to drink 8 glasses of water a day to stay healthy, flush out toxins, and protect your heart. But if you are over 50, that universally accepted advice might be the exact reason you are waking up exhausted at 2 a.m. and then again at 4 a.m., staring at the ceiling and wondering why your body will not just let you rest. For years, millions of older adults have silently accepted that waking up multiple times a night to use the bathroom is simply a normal, unavoidable part of aging. You might have even convinced yourself that your prostate is failing, or that your bladder is irreversibly weakening. But what if I told you that your organs are likely functioning exactly as they should, and the real culprit is a hidden mistake you are making in your kitchen every single evening? Before we uncover the exact physiological mechanism that is interrupting your sleep, and the zero-cost habits you can implement tonight to reclaim your rest, I invite you to join our growing community. If you want to take back control of your health naturally, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you never miss a breakthrough, and gently tap the like button. Sharing this video could genuinely change the life of a friend or spouse who is also suffering in silence. And right now, I would love for you to drop a quick comment below. How many times do you find yourself waking up to use the bathroom each night? You will immediately see that you are not walking this path alone. Let me share a brief story about a man named Arthur, a 72-year-old retired teacher living in Oregon. Arthur came to a point where he dreaded the sun going down. Every night was a battle. He tried restricting his fluids completely after dinner, yet he still found himself wandering the dark hallways of his home 3 times a night, risking a dangerous fall and waking up the next morning with a severe brain fog that ruined his day. He was absolutely convinced he needed a lifetime of expensive prescription medications. However, when researchers at leading institutions like the Mayo Clinic and specialized urology centers analyze cases exactly like Arthur's, they often find a completely different story. The human body is a miraculous, complex system, and as we age, our biology shifts in ways that require us to adapt, rather than just medicate. To understand the big water mistake, we first have to understand a vital chemical messenger in your brain called the antidiuretic hormone, or ADH. When you are young, your brain produces a massive surge of ADH at night. This hormone travels to your kidneys and acts like a biological stop sign, instructing them to concentrate your urine and hold on to fluids so you can sleep peacefully for 8 solid hours. But here is the reality that most mainstream articles fail to mention. As you cross the threshold of 50, and especially into your 60s and 70s, your brain naturally begins to produce significantly less of this crucial nighttime hormone. Your kidneys essentially lose their biological clock. They do not realize it is time to sleep, so they continue filtering blood and producing urine at the exact same high rate they do during the middle of the afternoon. When Arthur learned this, he realized his mistake was not just about how much water he drank, but the precise timing and the specific hidden triggers in his evening routine that were overworking his kidneys when they were already struggling with lower ADH levels. He was drinking large glasses of water right up until an hour before bed, thinking it would prevent a nighttime heart attack, a common myth that actually exhausts the renal system. But there is an even bigger, more invisible factor at play here, one that has absolutely nothing to do with what you drink, but rather how gravity interacts with your cardiovascular system throughout the day. It is a biological phenomenon that forces your bladder to fill up the moment your head hits the pillow. Have you ever noticed your shoes feeling a little tighter at the end of the day? Or perhaps your ankles looking slightly swollen? This subtle physical change is known as peripheral edema, and it holds the absolute secret to your nighttime struggles. Throughout your day, as you sit at a desk or stand in the kitchen, gravity constantly pulls fluids down into your lower extremities. When you were in your 20s, your vascular system easily pumped this fluid back up. But as we transition into our 50s, 60s, and beyond, our circulation naturally requires more support to do its job efficiently. Here is the surprising twist. that most doctors rarely have the time to explain during a standard 15-minute checkup. The exact moment you lie flat in your comfortable bed at night, gravity is instantly neutralized. All of that trapped, heavy fluid in your legs suddenly rushes back up into your bloodstream. Your heart pumps it directly to your kidneys, and your kidneys do exactly what they are biologically designed to do. They filter it and rapidly fill your bladder. So, you are not waking up at 3 a.m. because your bladder is irreversibly broken. You are waking up because your body is finally processing the hidden water you drank at lunchtime. Let us look at Susan, a 65-year-old retired nurse from Texas. She was struggling immensely with fragmented sleep, feeling completely held hostage by her bladder every single night. She thought she was doing everything right by drinking a relaxing cup of chamomile tea while watching the evening news, a classic traditional habit that she believed would soothe her into a deep sleep. But the real issue was not just the tea. It was the unrecognized fluid pooling in her calves all day long. To manage this naturally, Susan implemented a brilliant zero-cost daily habit: elevating her legs. By simply lying down on the couch and raising her legs above the level of her heart for just 30 minutes in the late afternoon, she allowed gravity to drain that accumulated fluid before bedtime. Her kidneys processed the fluid while she was still awake and active, which completely eliminated 2 of her agonizing nighttime bathroom trips. But elevating your legs is only the first piece of the physiological puzzle. The second crucial step to dramatically improve your quality of life is mastering the actual timing of your hydration. We have been aggressively conditioned by modern health trends to believe we need to constantly sip water until the very moment we close our eyes. However, groundbreaking clinical data, including comprehensive studies from Nagasaki University, have revealed a completely different reality for older adults. The researchers found that one simple, strategic shift in when you drink water can reduce nighttime bathroom trips by a staggering 40%. This brings us to the highly effective 2-hour rule. This simple evening routine is not about depriving your body of hydration. Rather, it is about finding the grace to let your body heal naturally by aligning with its biological clock. You need to establish a strict hydration cutoff exactly 2 hours before your head hits the pillow. If your target bedtime is 10 p.m., your last significant glass of water must be consumed no later than 8 p.m. After that strict cutoff, if your mouth feels incredibly dry, you do not gulp a whole glass. You merely take a tiny, gentle sip just to moisten your lips. By resetting your kidneys with this 2-hour hydration cutoff, you are giving your vital organs the necessary time to empty your system completely, while you are still awake, reading a book or watching television. Susan applied this exact 2-hour cutoff rule alongside elevating her legs. Within just a few weeks, she went from waking up 4 times a night in sheer exhaustion to experiencing the true blessing of a restorative sleep. Resting straight through until 6 a.m., she finally found freedom in a full night's rest and successfully reclaimed her mornings, completely clearing away the heavy brain fog that had been holding her back for years. But there is a third hidden kitchen habit, an invisible dietary culprit that is aggressively forcing your kidneys into overdrive while you sleep. It is a common, everyday ingredient hiding in almost every pantry in America and Europe, and it might be the most dangerous trigger for your nighttime waking. You probably think of it merely as a flavor enhancer, but I am talking about sodium. Now, you might be thinking, I already avoid the salt shaker. But here is the undeniable, shocking truth about the standard Western diet that the food industry does not want you to focus on. Over 70% of the sodium you consume is completely invisible. It is meticulously hidden in the heart-healthy canned soups, the convenient deli meats, the salad dressings, and even the seemingly harmless whole wheat bread you eat with your dinner. Why does this strictly matter for your sleep? Let us look at the fundamental biology of your body, rather than just treating symptoms. In human physiology, there is a golden rule. Water always follows salt. When you consume a high-sodium meal at 6 p.m., your bloodstream acts exactly like a dry sponge, aggressively pulling in and holding on to excess water from your tissues to dilute that heavy salt concentration. By the time you close your eyes to sleep, your kidneys sense this massive, unnatural fluid overload. They interpret it as a crisis and immediately shift into emergency filtration mode to flush the sodium out of your system, violently dragging all that trapped water out with it, straight into your bladder. Let me introduce you to Michael, a 58-year-old retired contractor from London. Michael was incredibly frustrated, living in a constant state of exhaustion and feeling completely held hostage by his own body. He followed the 2-hour water cutoff rule religiously, yet he was still waking up at 1 a.m. and then again at 4 a.m. He was terrified that his prostate was severely enlarging, a deeply unsettling fear that haunts so many aging men in silence. But when experts analyze routines like Michael's, the true villain is often hiding in plain sight. Michael simply loved having a warm bowl of canned tomato soup and a turkey sandwich for dinner, believing it was a light, healthy choice. In reality, that single meal contained over 2,000 milligrams of hidden sodium. His kidneys were working overtime in the dark just to process his dinner, forcing his bladder to wake him up. We did not prescribe Michael any expensive pills with a long list of frightening side effects. Instead, we looked at the science and applied a simple, zero-cost lifestyle intervention: the evening sodium swap. We simply moved his higher sodium meals to the afternoon and ensured his dinners were cooked with fresh, unprocessed foods, specifically incorporating potassium-rich vegetables like spinach, avocados, and sweet potatoes. Potassium is the biological counterattack to sodium. It naturally relaxes the blood vessels and significantly eases the burden on the renal system. The results were nothing short of a true blessing. Within just 10 days, Michael's agonizing nighttime bathroom trips dropped from 3 to absolute 0. He finally reclaimed his independence, waking up with a sharp mind, completely free from the morning brain fog that had been slowly destroying his golden years. He no longer feared the night. You see, managing your overactive bladder and nocturia is not about fighting your body or masking the pain with medications. It is about deeply understanding your physiological mechanisms so you can precisely support your body's natural ability to heal and rest. However, even if you elevate your legs, strictly stop drinking water 2 hours before bed, and completely cut out evening sodium, there is still one final, silent sleep destroyer. It is a completely unconscious habit that happens the exact moment you fall asleep, and it drastically drops your anti-diuretic hormone, physically forcing your bladder to fill up in the middle of the night. You are likely doing it right now without even realizing it, and it is ruining your health. That final, silent sleep destroyer is the psychological stress you carry into your bedroom. When you go to bed, actively worrying about whether you will wake up at 2 a.m., your brain releases a stress hormone called cortisol. Here is the fascinating biological twist that researchers at top Western institutions have uncovered. Elevated cortisol directly suppresses your brain's ability to produce that crucial antidiuretic hormone, ADH. Your very fear of waking up to pee is biologically forcing your kidneys to produce more urine. It is a vicious, exhausting cycle that keeps you trapped. Let us look at Dorothy, a 70-year-old grandmother from Ohio. She had perfectly implemented the 2-hour hydration cutoff and eliminated evening sodium. But she still woke up because her anxiety about her bladder was keeping her nervous system on high alert. The solution was not another pill. It was a zero-cost habit. 5 minutes of deep, nasal breathing before sleep to manually lower her cortisol and signal to her kidneys that it was finally safe to shut down. By managing her stress, she gave her body the grace to heal naturally and achieve that unbroken, restorative sleep. I have shared these exact strategies with thousands of older adults, and the transformation is always a true blessing. You do not have to accept exhaustion as a normal part of getting older. You do not have to let your bladder dictate your independence. By simply elevating your legs, cutting off fluids 2 hours before bed, swapping hidden sodium for potassium, and calming your mind, you are taking back complete control of your biology. I invite you to try this simple evening routine tonight. It is entirely up to you, but your body might genuinely thank you tomorrow morning when you wake up feeling completely rested. You have worked hard your entire life. You deeply deserve to enjoy your golden years with absolute peace of mind. Please share this with someone you love who might be silently struggling. Remember to subscribe and leave a comment below with your progress. We are in this together. Sleep well, and I will see you in the next video.